There you are. I'm glad you're here. Today, we're gonna get happy. Ridiculously happy. You're gonna be so far up the smile scale, you're gonna be seeing rainbows and kittens for a week. Okay, I'm getting a little excited. But can you blame me? I just played Yoshi Story for the Nintendo 64. On this Deceiver dissection, we're gonna take a look at the happiest little game ever made, and find out that the source of all happiness is apparently a tree that produces heart-shaped growths, as well as fruit. Most people know who you're referring to when you mention the name of that enemy-eating, egg-chucking, babysitting, sacrificial, long-tongued dinosaur. Yoshi was first introduced in Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo, and was given a starring role in the follow-up sequel, Yoshi's Island. Yoshi's Island set an interesting precedent for the Mario platforming series. Project director Shigefumi Hino felt that they had explored almost every possible route with 2D Mario games, so the development team, Nintendo Entertainment Analysis and Development, or Nintendo EAD, decided to go for a slower-paced, accessible title, shifting focus to include a more exploratory design. Artist Hisashi Nogami landed on the crayon-like art style, further cementing the game's uniqueness. And major respect for these artists and programmers. Taking hand-drawn images, scanning them, and then filling in the images pixel by pixel to maintain the aesthetic is next-level commitment to the craft. These earlier design choices were embraced and expanded upon in the next Yoshi-centric title. When Leggy and I commenced our playthrough of Yoshi's Story, we quickly noted certain aspects that made us happy to be taking a look back at this title. From the start, this game showcases the crafty art style that has become a reoccurring feature in Nintendo's vast library of games. Nintendo just can't seem to help themselves when it comes to that beautiful cardboard aesthetic. Aside from this game being a foundational piece for the arts and crafts design, this is also the first, and quite possibly the only, Nintendo game to be structured like a pop-up children's book. That brings us to the story. The Yoshi Story, if you will. Baby Bowser's spellcasting is the cause for the island being warped into a storybook world. Furthermore, he has stolen the Super Happy Tree. This does irreparable damage to the mental state of the island's entire population of Yoshis to the point of utter apathy. The island's only hope are 6 literal newborn babies that must flutter jump their way to Baby Bowser's castle and return the Super Happy Tree to its rightful place. You're thinking, Deceiver, didn't you say this was the happiest game ever? This is depressing! Well, yes. But now we get to the main goal of the game, making these little Yoshis the happiest little dinos this world has ever seen! As I said before, the only way you're going to make these guys happy is filling them to the brim with fruit that has conveniently fallen off of the Super Happy Tree. Gameplay consists of finding 30 fruits that exist throughout each level in order to improve the mood of the Yoshis. Each fruit will give you a certain number of hearts that serve as points that are tallied at the end of each level. Different fruits are worth varying amounts of points, melons being worth the most, and having exactly 30 hidden in each level. A lucky fruit of the day is also chosen when you start your playthrough, and this will give you an increased point value compared to the other regular fruits. This is where the exploratory nature of the game is fully embraced. There are secrets tucked away in every little corner of the expansive levels, and the game highly encourages you to seek them out, as well as rewarding you for doing so. Along with increases in your in-game score, you can actually find large hearts in each level that will unlock different levels for you to choose from on the next page/world. Which is something unique, albeit potentially problematic, which we'll touch on that later. Coins, sub-bosses, and minigame challenges are tactfully hidden about, and the Yoshis are given a handy arsenal of ways to track them down. From every Yoshi's favorite playful pup Poochie leading you down to the right path, to Yoshi using that honking schnoz to sniff out the secrets. If one of your little Yoshi buddies happens to croak, you can also find white Shy Guys that will rescue your captured baby Yoshi if you get the masked fellow through the level safely. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention, when you die, the poor little Yoshi is abducted in an ominous cutscene that seriously contrasts with the chipper nature of the rest of the game. This game, in my opinion, made significant improvements to the original Yoshi Island formula. First, the removal of Baby Mario is my absolute favorite improvement, since a crying baby health bar is the stuff of my nightmares. Having a traditional one is much more enjoyable. You're also able to freely control Yoshi's egg reticle for the first time, unlike before when it was only one direction. As I mentioned, the game requires you to eat 30 fruits before the level ends. This is solely because the levels are cyclical in nature. You'll continue to loop until your fruit foraging mission has been accomplished. There was a clear decision by director Hideki Kono to fully embrace the exploration-focused gameplay direction, which ultimately results in a fantastic casual gaming experience. However, this casual gaming experience is where a lot of the criticism of this game stems from. If you take the time to look up reviews of this game at the time, many call it too easy, or short and shallow, as well as being designed with younger players in mind. Dude! I'd like to contend that these facts aren't necessarily a bad thing. or at least aren't worth excuses for not giving the game a try. The game is indeed short, if you want it to be. Remember when I said the large hearts let you choose the level for the next world? Well, that's exactly it. You choose one level out of a total possible of 4, and once you beat it, you're on to the next world. And there are only 6 worlds total. There's an additional trial mode that will allow you to select the previous levels that you have beaten and allow you to play through them, so you aren't prevented from getting to see all of the levels. That is, so long as you collect all the hearts in each level and play through the game multiple times. Heck, the game embraces this aspect of getting to play one level per world per playthrough by reading back the story of your adventure at the end of the game, each level you beat having its own unique story snippet. Really, this puts me in mind of a choose-your-own-adventure book, which I think is quite creative. What some might believe to be ease, or catering to younger players, I'd call a sense of awareness, and Nintendo exhibited it tremendously. They offered an experience that could be accessible to younger children, as well as those that simply wanted a more relaxed title to enjoy, all while presenting opportunities for challenge if the player desired. I don't claim to be a master at video games, far from it, but I have played many platformers for years, and there were parts of this game that I struggled with. Granted, that mainly came from the horrendous monstrosity that is the N64 controller, but if a person truly wanted to, say, collect all melons in every level, they would be in for a hearty challenge. Some of those mini-games are brutal. Now, the game does have its flaws. I will say the lack of any significant boss fights was a real letdown. I mean, there's a boss that heals you when you attack him. The game even calls him a pushover. And when you do ultimately reach Baby Bowser, the fight is over in a flash with a distinct lack of a transformation sequence which is now considered a staple of the series. There being no unique vehicle transformations like there were in Yoshi's Island is also a disappointing exclusion. I think it would have been great to fly around some of these big open levels as Helicopter Yoshi. Music is also an area of contention for me. Some tracks are worthy of 10-hour-long versions like the Yoshi rap, while others made me wonder who on earth thought that screeching Yoshis and elementary schoolers playing the recorders would be a good idea. Although the little changes in music when your health is low is a nice touch. Plus, this game is the origin of all those iconic Yoshi sounds. The cuteness is just amplified by the fact that they're little babies trying their absolute best to be happy. It just warms your heart. Unfortunately, Yoshi Story doesn't get the recognition it deserves. Initially, I doubted the game would hold any sort of relevance based solely on the fact that I never heard anyone really acknowledge it besides the Smash Bros. Stage. This is a fact that I think is true for most people, and does a great disservice to the team that developed this title. They acknowledged and offered an option for the casual gaming audiences with a follow-up to one of their most successful titles. It wasn't until the era of the Wii that we saw this philosophy fully embraced. At the end of the day, it's an extremely happy little game content to serve as the granddad to quality casual gaming titles. And, like with any grandparent, it's always nice to check in, make some fun memories, and enjoy those happy little moments. This Deceiver dissection is complete. Conclusion? An overlooked predecessor title that laid the foundations for many gameplay designs and philosophies showcased in modern-day Nintendo titles. Extremely unique in level structure, being one of the only looping 2D platformers in the Mario series that I've played. Artistically pleasing and offering a choice of brevity or challenge, Yoshi Story was a solid title that was unfortunately a victim of its time. Pull out the N64, blow in that cartridge, suffer all of the pain that comes from using that stupid controller, and buckle up for a happy storybook adventure. And remember, happiness is just one smiling heart-shaped growth on a tree away.